guys? Will here from SoundOps. Stuck in traffic in Atlanta. So I figured it'd be a good time to hang out with y'all and talk about something. What can we talk about? Why third-party mastering is better. Third-party mastering. As in a mastering studio that specializes in mastering and is not the same studio that does your recording. They are a third party. Not you and not your recording studio, but the mastering studio. Why is third-party mastering better? Well, it has to do with the bias of your recording studio. Now, I'm not hating on recording studios today. It's not what this is about. But it's something you need to consider, because your music is at stake and your audio is at stake. So, hear me out on this. If you let the guy who does your mixing and your recording, if you let that guy also master your tracks, I'm not going to say it's like letting your dentist cut your hair, because that's not really fair. It'd be like letting a basketball coach your football team. Basketball coaches and football coaches are still coaches, but obviously there's nuances of the game that are different in each sport. And just because a coach coaches great basketball doesn't mean they're going to coach great football. Just because they're a good coach, they're a good basketball coach, and vice versa. You want someone who specializes in recording, tracking, production. That you want that. And then at the same time, you want someone who focuses, specializes, is an absolute expert at mastering, because they're not the same. They require different gear, it's just different. And you don't want a jack of all trades doing your whole album, Because when you think about it, when you think about how much money it costs in the studio and mastering, when you think about how much it actually costs, when you divide it out by how many CDs you're going to make and how many people are going to hear your music, I mean, what are you paying? Like fractions of a penny per person that you show your music to? With like a very high possibility that those people are going to spend much more money than that on your merchandise and coming to see you and being your loyal, your loyal fans. Sorry, I got distracted. Guy next to me was driving a purple sports car. Nothing wrong with purple. Nothing wrong with sports cars. If I was going to have a sports car, it wouldn't be purple. And if I was going to have something purple, it would not be a sports car. Anyway. Mastering is different than recording. It's different than mixing. And you want somebody that specializes in it. And not just that. You want someone who hasn't heard the song being recorded and mixed. I don't know if you guys have ever done your own recording, but those of you who have know what I'm talking about. You've got to hear your song 10 billion times to get a recording that you're going to be happy with. And you don't want the guy who's been recording and mixing your tracks and heard them 10 billion times to try to hear them with a fresh ear and try to master them. Because what mastering it needs to be is a very critical ear. You need a very critical perspective and an uncompromising perspective on the songs, and not be willing to give up until they sound perfect. If you've heard the same mistake in a recording over and over and over and over and over again, the same out-of-tune note or the same rhythm mistake, eventually it can start sounding okay, which is scary and something that I'll have to talk about another time because it's a whole different issue. But anyway, there's a bunch of reasons why you need a fresh ear. And I mean, at SoundOps, that's why we have multiple engineers master every track that comes through. Then we pick the best 3 and give them to you guys, and then you can pick your favorite from that. But the idea that someone who has been recording and mixing, intimately involved with your recording project, can all of a sudden take a step back and have an objective